What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the specs of the Apple iPad 4th generation, which released last year, to the Apple iPad Air, the full-size 5th generation iPad that's just been announced yesterday. So what's improved between these two? What's new? What's different? Well, do hit that thumbs up button and let's find out in this head-to-head spec comparison. So initially we'll start off with the screen size. You've got the exact same screen size on both of these here, 9.7 inches, so on the larger size of the tablets out there, and the resolution is exactly the same as well, 2048 by 1536, so that gives it the pixel density of 264. Now personally, I'm not hugely concerned that there's not been an up in terms of the resolution here, because this resolution is still absolutely great. You've got Retina on both of these, and it's higher than 1080p HD, which is fine for me. And what this also means is that apps that are optimized for the Apple iPad 4th generation will also work on the Apple iPad Air without any problems, without any stretching or anything, so that's also nice to see. Now although you've got the same screen size on both of these devices here, they have managed to take off quite a bit of the size of the Apple iPad Air compared to the 4th generation iPad. You've got 1.2 millimeters off the height, and you've got 16.2 millimeters off the width. So in terms of those bezels on either side, they've got 43% thinner bezels, so that's really made it a lot more compact here. And it's also quite a bit thinner, almost 2 millimeters thinner compared to the 4th generation iPad. So overall, a lot more compact. In terms of the weight as well, you've got roughly about 183 grams off the weight, so that's quite a significant drop in terms of the weight for this full-size tablet. And they're claiming that the Apple iPad Air is the lightest full-size tablet in the world, so that's quite impressive. 469 grams for a full-size tablet is very impressive here. Now in terms of the internals, you also have improvements here. The iPad 4 has the Apple A6X processor, that's dual core at 1.4 GHz. The Apple iPad Air now has the A7 processor, that's a 64-bit chip. Now that's the same one that's in the Apple iPhone 5S, and it's a 1.3 GHz dual core processor. Now although the clock speed is different on here, this is the A7 64-bit versus the A6X, so you are definitely going to have an improvement in performance. Apple is saying that the Apple iPad Air is 2 times faster in terms of the CPU, and also 2 times faster in terms of the graphics performance compared to the iPad 4. So some nice improvements here. The M7 motion coprocessor is also in the Apple iPad Air, so this is going to be tracking motion data without waking up the main CPU, which should save battery. Now because it is a tablet, I'm not sure how much it's going to be utilized for most people out there in terms of the motion data, but lots of people mount the iPad on different things and take it around places, so it might be useful for a few people out there. Now there are quite a few similarities between these two devices as well. The RAM, you've got 1 GB of RAM on both of these. The different versions available, you've got the 16, 32, 64 and the 128 GB versions as well, both available in the Wi-Fi and cellular. Cameras, you've got the 5 megapixel rear facing camera, 1080p HD, the front facing 1.2 megapixels at 720p HD. So in terms of resolution, there's no improvements here, but they have said that the quality of the images is going to be slightly better. We'll have to see these side by side, but generally speaking, in terms of the resolution, it is the same. Would have liked to have a 1080p front-facing camera to make it consistent with the rear-facing camera on the new Apple iPad, but that's not there. That's something that I would have liked to have seen myself. I'm not sure how important it is to everyone else out there. Now both of these do have the latest version of iOS, so you've got iOS 7 on here, and you're going to be getting updates directly from Apple as well, so that's great to see. Now one thing that you do have new on the Apple iPad Air is a MIMO Wi-Fi technology, so this is going to give you up to 2 times faster Wi-Fi speeds because it's got dual antennas, so that's quite nice to see some new technology in here that we've not seen on the iPads before. So in terms of Wi-Fi speeds, the Apple iPad Air does have a bit of an edge here, and in terms of the battery performance, 10 hours they're claiming, 10 hours of usage out of both of these, so the same here. Now finally, looking at the price, the iPad 4 when it initially came out, £399 in the UK and $499 in the US. That's for the base 16GB Wi-Fi model. The iPad Air is going to be coming at the same pricing range, so you've got the prices here on both of these, both available in the Wi-Fi and the cellular options as well. Now here's the thing, the iPad 4 is going to be discontinued, so they are not going to be selling it anymore in the Apple Store. You may be able to pick up the iPad 4 from other retailers if they've got stock left over or something for a cheaper price, but they are discontinuing the iPad 4. Now here's the thing that I don't like about Apple, because they are still going to be selling the iPad 2 at £329 for the 16GB base model, or $399. So the cheaper option will be the iPad 2. The iPad 2 was released in 2011, or I think roughly about March 2011, which makes it 2.5 years old. So they're still selling a 2.5-year-old tablet at the cheaper price point, rather than having the iPad 4 or even the iPad 3 at the cheaper price point. So I personally don't like the fact that they've done that. I would have liked to have seen the iPad 4 at the slightly reduced price rather than a 2.5-year-old model. So those are the key differences between these two devices. The iPad Air coming in quite a bit smaller and lighter compared to the original, and you've got some welcome improvements here. Not major improvements, so if you do have the iPad 4 right now, I definitely wouldn't recommend going out and buying the iPad Air. It's not worth it doing that right now anyway. Maybe if it had a few more improvements such as Touch ID. A lot of people were expecting the new iPad 5th generation to have Touch ID. That's not available on here. Maybe some improved cameras and things here as well. However, if you are looking for a new tablet and you do want an iPad, then it may be worth going to a few retailers and seeing if they've got some iPad 4s available that they might be trying to get rid of because of the Apple iPad Air release now. So it might be worth trying to grab yourself a bargain there. But if you do want to get it from the Apple Store itself, then I definitely advise going for the iPad Air rather than the iPad 2, which is a 2.5-year-old model. So definitely I would not recommend going for the other option, which is not so much cheaper. It's not massively cheaper, just about a fifth off. So you're going to be saving about 20% if you do go for the iPad 2. Not really worth it in my opinion. Maybe if you want to go for the Apple iPad Mini 2, that's another option there as well for the reduced price. What do you think of the Apple iPad Air? Do you think there's enough improved here compared to the Apple iPad 4? Well, do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below.